Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH BaHashem, YAHAWASHI BaHashem, Rakwah. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim Wakwathium, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this foreign captivity, as well as the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson, let's start off with this. Matthew chapter 24, verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And basically, the thing here is that there's going to be a lot of crazy shit that's going to be going down, and these are parts of the signs of the end. Let's actually get another one another precept before I show you. I'm not going to fully show you stuff, but I'm just letting you know. 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the times past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Now, I don't know if I should, trigger warning, I guess, but like there's just some wild things. I'm not gonna show the full video, but it is definitely going to be kind of crazy just to know about it. All right, but what happens here is, and I didn't watch this myself, I just thought like this shit is crazy, but apparently a security guard just gets up and snatched. I don't even know if the security guard was a man or a woman, and that's the crazy thing about that is that it could literally be either or. It doesn't have to just be a man, or it doesn't just have to just be a woman. It could potentially be a man. And you have these fucking dudes and shit like that have demons on them to do stuff like this. You have them like, let me hold on, because that's another precept. Sirach 39:28. Sirach 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So YAHAWAH, he puts demons on certain people, like that homeless person, or that you saw, where he just has the power to overpower this person, be it a man, a woman, whatever, and they're not thinking logically, they're not thinking normally, they're not thinking like, oh well, let me not do this so I don't get arrested, let me not do this, whatever. They just have nothing to lose, and they're not only is their conditions making them lose rational thought, but also it's amplified even more by the demons that get on these people to just say, oh, I'm just gonna do this stuff, I'm just gonna do this, whatever, like I ain't got nothing to lose, so who cares, like I'm just gonna get mine where I can get it. And this is what ends up happening. All right, let me see if there's something. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little curious, though it is not very. I'm curious to see if this is a man or a woman, but let's.
Type of officer or security guard, and this happened in broad daylight out here.
In broad daylight, like they don't care who sees, they don't care if they get caught. It's just whatever to them.
New York City.
And who the fuck is helping? No one.
The belly of the beast itself. So anyway, without further ado, check this out.
I think that's a man. I could be wrong, but I am not gonna lie, I am extremely grateful that it was not something worse. And again, this is my first time watching this, alright? But still, point still stands that this might have been something like this. Like, oh yeah, it's bad. And I'm not downplaying this, but I will say it's definitely different from what I had originally thought. I thought it was like full on, just you know what. But and you know that's the problem with these wordings. Whenever I'm thinking SA, I'm just thinking like full on the thing. But apparently, like the term is so like broad that even I don't know, unwanted touching and something like that, like molestation, that is also considered that, instead of just saying what each word is, which that kind of annoys me. I'm not gonna lie. That terminology, that constant change in terminology is pretty annoying. I genuinely do not like it. But again, whatever. I guess they should be grateful that it wasn't worse. But still, yeah, it's still bad, and I don't know, maybe something happened as a result. Outside of that, this is not the only thing. Next thing here is, you know, I'm not gonna play it, but hospital staff. I think I remember hearing about this before. Basically, what happened was the parents were panicking and stuff like that, or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember the exact story, but I think the parents were panicking. They were trying to say, hey, we need help, we need this, we need that, or whatever. Like, can you please help our son? And then they said, and then the hospital staff, it was some Edomite bitch. She was like, you know what? We're just not going to help, or like, you guys are being rude. You guys are yelling. Like, why are you yelling? Like, it's not that serious, X, Y, and Z. And then just said, well, fuck you, we're not going to help. I think that was basically the thing where, again, I don't remember the whole story, so take that what I just said with a grain of salt, but the end result was, regardless of the fact they did not help, they said, we're not going to help your kid or whatever. And like, that's some like extremely evil shit, which, you know, that's as far as I'm concerned, like, this is one of the reasons, no, not one of the reasons, but this is justification for me not going to the hospital, because it's just like, what like, so I go to the hospital for me to have a chance at them basically refusing to help me, refusing to treat me when I'm fucking dying or whatever. Like, okay, so this is what this is what I have to look forward to when it comes to my fucking life. All right, so what could happen is, you need help, you need thing. Well, guess what? I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to do this stuff, or you're just gonna die or whatever. Like, you're dead. You're done for, buddy. All right. That's basically what I'm basically hearing from this, because it's the simple fact that Esau or a hospital can refuse helping and saving a patient. This is just baffling to me. Like, this is a thing. Like, they're allowed to just do that. They're allowed to just, like, there is no safe place for us in general. Like, we are, no matter where we go, we are always going to be at risk of dying. And if they wanted it, you know, they could have just said, oh, well, we will help. We will help. But in actuality, they're not actually helping. They're actually trying to incite our death. They're actually trying to kill us instead of saving us. So that's one of the, I guess that's a blessing in disguise, that they were flat out with it. But obviously, still, the fact that they didn't help, that's gonna. Do you know the type of animosity that's going to fester in these types of people? Where like, imagine like you were minding your own business, something happened, and then you try to go asking for help, and then during Jacob's trouble, that's a big thing. Let me get that as a matter of fact. Jeremiah 30 verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And the thing here is that for us, we are over here, what's it called? Things are going to get even worse. Things are going to get bad. And we're expecting things to, get better or whatever. But we're over here watching how Esau is just blatantly evil, blatantly wanting us dead, blatantly sabotaging us. So when all hell breaks loose and people, you're going to have so many people that just have nothing to lose, just like this guy. So when you have people that are going to be like this guy who just does not care, he's going to go and do all these horrible, evil, vile acts to Edomite people. And that's another thing. You think that Jake, you might be led to believe that Jake only is gonna, harm other Jake. No. All right, no. Jake is gonna go after everyone. Like, they're not gonna have any type of thought or reasoning. They're gonna be like, oh, this woman was treating me like shit. This woman was this and a third or whatever. Okay, well, I'm gonna go over there. And while Esau might have, guns, a lot of Edomites do have guns, but for the liberal ones, they're not going to have no protection. They're just going to be a prey to some of these batshit crazy people, and they're going to just be a spoil. Okay, the liberal women that are living by themselves. Imagine that if you are a woman living by your fucking self. All right, no man, no one. You have some fucking cats. That cat's not going to fucking protect you. That cat's not going to save you. You have your own your 2-year-old son from 2+ years ago, you sleeping with another man and stuff like that. You don't know, with multiple men, you don't know which one's the father and stuff like that. That is going to lead to your death. You know what's going to happen to those kids? Like, you are literally making things just horrible and terrible, not just for you, but for that offspring. All right, like this is not good. This is not fun. This is not no fun and games and shit like that. And the crazy thing is that these Babylonian women think that life is always going to be fine. They're always going to be able to call the police if something bad happens. And then even for bad situations, when they do have access to calling the police, guess what? The police aren't going to come there in 2 seconds. All right. It takes time for the police, especially if the man, because the thing about the police are a deterrent naturally for everyone to not commit crimes. That's number one. Number two, the police are a deterrent for men, that men can't get their houses in order, because guess what? If a woman just calls the police and says, oh, my husband was beating me or whatever, then the police are more than likely going to just believe the woman and then arrest the guy. So the women have power over the men in the sense of, okay, well, I can just call the police and I can keep this man in check. I can control this man, control this guy or whatever, X, Y, and Z. So that's another thing. But then even further than that, that only works if that man is willing to, it has some sense to not, and he is quote unquote good enough to not actually like beat the shit out of you like before they get there, or just to stop you in general from calling them to begin with. Like that's another thing that they really don't think about, but yet they still have so much pride in thinking in the way that they think. All right, so that this is again building up animosity and hatred towards one another and stuff like that. All right. Anyway, continuing on, let's go to 2nd Ezra 15 verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And this is the thing here where, there is no care for, what's it called? Position of power. Like, the president, the government, the whatever, the politicians, the mayor, the X, Y, and Z, whatever, all that shit is going out the window, because you're just going to have these people that are going to say, like, you know what, I've been under your boot for far too long. I'm just gonna, and that's the thing. Like, when you have people abusing their power, people get fed up and they're like, I'm not taking this shit no more. I'm sick and tired of all the shit that you've put me through. I'm going to just go off. Like, this is it. Like, I'm done. All right. And then they're going to go and do whatever they want, because now there's not going to be any moderation on power, or like before. All right. There's not going to be no police, because the police are going to be shut down. Emergency services are going to shut down. All that shit that's going to be thrown out the window. All right. Where is it? Because again, as it was in Jacob's trouble, there's no moderator, there's no person looking out for what is going on and stuff like that, and no deterrent as before, which was in the police. 2nd Ezra 15 verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, and of course their actions shall stand in their power. As I read before. Yeah, I thought I didn't read this, but yeah, I read this. Basically, they're not going to care about any of the authoritative figures. Matthew chapter 24 verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Another main thing to look out for is just that, as evil grows, there's going to be a lot more people that just not going to care. And so it's like, okay, well, you normally have respect for your fellow man, but all that respect is out the window. Like, people don't bother thinking about one another or caring, because, okay, well, these people are pieces of shit and whatnot. All right. As a matter of fact, let's get this. Basically, so Jeremiah 19 verse 9. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one of the flesh of his friend in the siege and straightness wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straighten them. Basically, the main thing here, obviously this is not the full context, but I'm just using this as an example because I can't find another precept, the precept that I wanted. But the main thing is just that when there's famine, because there's going to be famine, as we read in here, Matthew chapter 24 verse 7, okay, that there are going to be famines. And when there comes famines, one thing that people do, they turn to cannibalism, because they just get so hungry. They don't care about any of the morals and shit. They just say, okay, well, fuck this here. I'm just going to eat I'm going to eat someone. I'm going to eat whatever. They're going to eat their kids. They're going to eat their neighbors. They're going to eat whatever, because, oh man, like that, I don't have anything to eat. All right. And as a result of that, again, this contributes to the decay of morality, decay of all that stuff. Like, people just don't care, and they're going to go and do whatever they want, whatever they can to survive and stuff like that. So yeah, this is not a good thing to look forward to. But, and again, the main reason why I'm saying this is, again, it's a forewarning. You better get right with YAHAWASHI, or else this is all of the stuff that I listed is what you're gonna have to look forward to. So with that, I pray that systems edifying. I'm gonna give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, Rakwakwada, Hashem, honor to the elders and apostles, great most, and above all, Shalom.